What up, fish people? The very losing going local because I have two crazies sitting beside me tonight. We've got Miss Roxanne as our guest tonight. And then, of course, I've got
Hello,
my Danny.
everybody.
So I've got the Giggle Fest going on before I start. I'm trying to keep concentration. Almost was late, but as you can see, we got Miss Roxanne is going to be our guest tonight. Before we get too far along, if my mods could drop the link that I had sent you, uh, the Amazon Research Center is having a fundraiser right now. They're trying to get funds up to support their great cause down there in the Amazon. They have an aquarium they're building, and they want to make it a place where people can go down, relax, and check out fish and get to see the Peruvian way of life. So anyway, if you guys have it, donate to that cause. They're trying to raise some money for the calendar year, and I believe it's a good cause. So go ahead and head on over there. Anyway, guys, I'll go through the hellos real quick. I know I missed a few. I know Adele was the first in this evening. And then it was Atkins, and then we have Fish on Tactics, Dr. Anthony, Whips World, Monster Fish Gal in the house.
Weird.
And I heard Brian. Oh, we at least got a heard
They
voice
can hear
on
you, though.
We heard him. We heard him. Y'all heard it here first. Brian was talking on a live stream. Oh yeah, Carol Cox, what's going on?
And
Lisa
you heard it here
NJ.
first.
Welcome, Mr. Liquid Zoo. Fish Fam Links himself. What is up, brother? Aqua Balls, what's going on? Griffin Fish Room, welcome, my friend. Richard Reynolds. Now, Richard, I got to tell you, brother, I greatly appreciate. He's sending Danny and I some cool little multi shell dwellers because he knows we love shell dwellers. Greatly appreciated, sir. Jimmy P, what is going on, brother? Good to see you. There's Miss Dee Dee.
Oh,
Good to see you, Dee Dee. Skull Aquatics, welcome. Misfit, welcome. M&C, what's going on, brother? And there's Timmy250. I don't think I've seen you before, but welcome. And there's my girl, Miss Laura. Where'd she go? Miss Shanna. It's my girl, Shanna.
Hello. Shanna Banana.
What's up, Shanna? Mountaintop Fish, welcome. All right, guys. So, everybody in the fish family already knows my girl sitting down below us there. Miss, as I call her, Foxie Roxy. Foxie's Fish.
Hi.
Foxie, tell us what you've been up to of late.
Well, besides the bazillions of breeding projects we have here with fish down at the compound, I've gotten a little into the axolotls, and I was fortunate enough to get some of the axolotl eggs from Miss Susie Q over at Q's Aquatics, and I hatched them out, and I've been obsessing about them for I think about 3 months now, and they're just getting to the point where they're getting ready for their new homes. They're coming up size, and I'm actually looking for homes for these guys, and I'm not looking to actually sell them. I'm looking for more of a rehoming situation. So there's an interview process involved. Um, and I've had 15 axolotls. We are down to 6. We have 6 left.
And Danica made the cut. We were able to purchase one because we made the cut. We got one just like it's on the front of Danny's shirt.
Yes, you guys are getting a gorgeous, super frilly albino little girl. She's adorable. And she's a little moody because she's been in fasting, so she's definitely going to want some snacks when she gets home.
Danny and I have already named her Princess Roxy.
RV Animals and Movies, thank you for the 99-cent super sticker.
So if they want to interview for this process, how do they get the ball rolling there?
All they need to do is email us at our Peplin Creek Aquatics email that is brian.vine.bv@gmail.com and just say axolotl. and we will message you back and ask you some questions. Like, we're not going to ask you anything crazy. We just want to make sure that you know how to take care of them properly. You know what their basic requirements are. They're not a tropical fish. They require cold water. They need clean conditions. It's best not to keep them with other fish because the fish will either pick at their frills or they'll eat the fish. Not all types of substrate are suitable for them. Um, they're more carnivorous than anything, so they need a high protein diet. Um, it's very, very, very important that they're kept cold because if they go too warm above 68 degrees on a regular basis, disease will start to set in. Um, so it's all these types of things that like we want to make sure that people are aware of before they are able to um, have one of our axolotls. Um, just because um, they're so precious. I mean, they're as with everything else, they're a life form, um, and they're just not like fish. And it's very important that people don't see them as fish because they are very popular. They're basically extinct in their native territory in the wild. Um, they estimate that there's less than 1,000 left in the lakes that it comes from, which are Lake Chalco and Ochimilco in Mexico. The last observation, I don't believe they even found any axolotls when they were looking for them. So it's it's very important that people just are able to preserve the species and that these guys can be well taken care of for their full lifespan, and that can be up to 15 years.
Nice.
And I know I went all over the place with that. I'm sorry.
Okay. I find axolotls like so fascinating because I'd heard when I was doing research on axolotls when I first got mine as an egg. I got mine as an egg and I got to hatch them out and everything. But that if they lose a limb, you can what they call fridge them and you can put them in a refrigerator and they'll regrow the limb.
Yes, they will. They have extremely incredible regenerative properties. They can regenerate almost every part of their body, even parts of their eyes and brain, and that's why they're heavily studied for their regenerative properties.
I need some of that stuff.
So they can actually, what happens is if they were to lose, say, the tip of their tail or they lose an arm or a leg, that will immediately cauterize, their body will cauterize, develop what's called a bud, and from that will form a fully functional, replicated, identical limb. And it won't be of a smaller size like typical amphibians, like you would see. If a lizard drops its tail, it'll grow its tail back, but it'll be of a smaller size. With axolotls, it'll grow back to be identical. And I think that's very cool.
I'm seeing
but
nothing but spinning circles.
Danielle, just roll with it. Just roll. So I was going to say.
So,
go ahead.
I was going to say, so there are actually five different types of salamanders in Mexico, similar to axolotls, that can actually stop themselves from morphing into the next version, the land animal, the salamander, because they come from very cold, pristine lakes, and that's in the middle of deserts. So they can actually choose to stay in their tadpole form, and they can actually procreate that way, just like axolotls. but there's only one other type that actually can interbreed with an axolotl, and those are the Andersoni. So you don't really want to keep those together so they don't hybridize. But I think that's very cool. There's actually some projects going on right now where the scientists have crossed the axolotls and the Andersoni so they can be a hardier species, and they've released them into a flooded abandoned quarry as an original source, and they're actually trying to bring back some of the population, not totally wild, but as close to possible to continue the genetic diversity of their genes.
That's always cool. Well, as you can see, Danny's having issues. We've been having kind of an issue today with our internet. We don't know what's going on. I'm surprised I'm still sitting, but I'm like 3 feet from the router, so that's probably part of it. Hopefully she's smart, is back out there getting back on for us. There she is. I figured she'd try. I don't know what's going on. Well, she's back for the moment.
Our internet has too much bandwidth on it for some reason. There's issues with our internet.
Oh, you know how we could fix that? Turn off the Wi-Fi on your phone real quick. And go to just hit the Wi-Fi button on your phone.
Airplane mode.
That should free up to at least there's 2 devices not jumping on it. I don't know why it's doing it. That should help.
Okay. Cool.
So
Lisa and Jay is asking if the hybrid can reproduce. And Lisa, as far as I know, they can reproduce because those are what scientists are currently using in labs. Because the axolotl population has actually become a little too incestuous in labs, so that's why they first tried to hybridize them with the Andersoni to help diversify the genetic pool. And those babies are the ones that typically are the glow species because the GFP gene was introduced in a lab. So if your axolotl glows, its ancestors were originally from a lab, and they were originally introduced with the Andersoni genes.
Well, there you have it. Say all that real quick 3 times. So what else?
Did you say thank you to Brian Bevy?
I didn't, honey. I have not been paying attention.
Thank you for the $5 super chat, and it says hit the like.
I don't even see it.
Shut my door so I can't hear you. Well, good thing you have eagle eye wifey poo on.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you much.
And I'm doing my best to check in chat, but when I pop up chat, I cannot see your lovely faces. So if I'm missing any questions, I apologize, guys.
We're keeping
I
an
see
eye.
Bunny Viper says, what type of axolotl do I have? I have a breeding pair of adult leucistics. I'm soon to be breeding. They haven't given me any eggs yet, but they're coming into season. I know the season's passed for them, but I'm hoping that they might just still throw me some eggs sometime. But other than that, the babies that we currently have are wild type non-GFP, wild GFP, and then we also have what Kenny and Danny are going to be getting is the GFP albino, and she's so cute.
Can't wait.
Now you've got the camera on Duke. Is there a particular reason that name, or you chose the name?
Yes. Well, when he was super little, actually, do you want to put the blue light on Duke so they can see him glow? He is magnificent. Even his skeleton shows very greatly, very brightly. Now, we have the glow pen. We don't shine it at his eyes. They don't like black light. It's just unfortunate. This is the only light pen that we have at the moment. So we try best not to shine at his eyes. it's best to use blue lights. They'll shine just as brightly with him. But that green tint, my phone isn't pulling it up the best, but that green iridescent glow is the GFP gene, and that actually
Wow.
comes from jellyfish.
Wow.
But the reason I named him Duke is because when he was still just a wee tadpole before he had back legs and we had arms, we had them in breeder boxes, and each had their own little Siswassertang bed, and they had a little catalpa leaf as a blanket, and they had a large ram's horn snail as a companion. And ram's horn snails, they leave a lot of poop behind. And I went to clean out Duke's cage, like little breeder section, the one day, and I noticed that he stepped in a ram's horn poop, and it was stuck between his fingers, and he just swam around with a piece of dookie stuck to his hand like all day that he wouldn't let go of. So that's why his name is Duke.
That's hilarious.
So that's where he gets his name from. And he is the only axolotl out of Suzy Q's that I will be keeping. I still have 6 more left, and they're all wild pattern. They look very similar to Duke, and some glow like Duke and some don't. But they're all fantastic. They've all been hand-fed. Brian's taking you for a walk. And that's another. And they're all currently in their own 10-gallon tanks right now. But they are not a beginner fish keeper's pet, which is why it's important that you have a little bit of experience fish keeping and before you take a leap into these guys, just so you have a better handle on things, because they're very sensitive.
Jamie and I have had our... Go ahead.
Jimmy P's Aquarium says, "Him Roxanne speaks so motherly. I wish I was."
Real quick, while we have a break, I wanted to shout Miss Lisa Ende happy belated birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Lisa!
She had a birthday before our last stream, so I wanted to say happy birthday to her.
Misfit.
This is another one.
New member.
Thank you for becoming a member. We appreciate it, Ricky. All right, a bunch of people came in now. You see that?
No, I was.
Yeah, Mary
I
Beth.
was listening to the story.
So was I. Dennis Christensen came in. Welcome. Just roll through a few of these. Jenna P, Stephen P, welcome, welcome. And let's see here. The Nano Aquarium guy, welcome. Kim Mushi Donna, welcome. Aquaball slid in the back door. Paul McCarthy. All right, I'm almost to the bottom. Aquaria Live, what's up, Aquaria Live? And guys, be looking. I got a video going to be dropping on her either late tonight or early in the morning. That girl is something special. Fintaticals, welcome. I love these names. Brian Levy, we just said thank you, but welcome.
I think that tank is a little too dark, but those are my adult leucistic axolotls.
Nice. Oh, look at her glowing already.
They're very, very cool.
All right.
Yes,
Sandy O,
Lisa
George.
and JR Internet's having issues.
There's another
Apologies.
one. These are all the little guys that we have left available. Oh, apparently my phone just went swimming. Thank you, honey.
So I think we'll be taking Duke down now so he can turn it off.
Okay. He's going to be taking Duke down now so he can... Okay. But yes, I've become quite obsessed with axolotls. I've had the adults for a little over a year, and I couldn't wait until they had some eggs. So when Suzy Q said that she had some available, I had to ask her for some, and I'm so very grateful she sent them because they are so entertaining, and they are quite a commitment if you have 17 at once, which I did. But if you just have like one or two, they are awesome pets. Like I said, they do need cold water, 60 to 65. You really don't want to get over 65 if possible. I know that some of y'all know that we've had them up to 71 comfortably, but that's also because we have very clean creek-fed water with very low TDS naturally. So they weren't stressed by the water because the water was so clean and the temperature didn't stay that high for very long. Because what happens is if they stay too warm for too long, disease can set in. It's usually a fungal issue at first, and then it becomes a bacterial issue. And once it becomes bacterial, then you have to take your axolotl to the vet.
Oof. Not good. Not good at all.
And really, how many axolotl experts do you run into in the vet industry even?
Not many. You would have to get an exotic vet to look at them.
You know what I just thought of too, Danny? Do you still have one of the programs playing on your TV in there? Because that would draw internet as well.
That could be a possibility. Let me go turn that off.
I knew it. I was sitting there going through my brain. I'll bet you we left something on the TV in there. It's amazing how much we've all turned into Wi-Fi junkies now.
Nope, that TV's off.
And it's annoying how different devices pull Wi-Fi differently. So like this tablet that the fish fam got me that I'm on right now came in beautifully, but the phone was very pixelated. And they're both Samsung devices. They're both relatively the same, but one picks up Wi-Fi so much better than the other.
Yeah,
It's
Danny
annoying.
and we're at the point where our phones are old. We need to replace them. But the problem I'm having is all the newer stuff doesn't give you, if you're a YouTuber, you're screwed with anything that's on the market. They don't give you any way to have extension. You know,
Yeah.
I used to be able to put this mega chip in my phone and I was good, man. You don't have that availability anymore. So, and I refuse to go to Apple. I don't want to be an Apple guy.
I'm not an Apple fan either. We're Android people here.
Yeah, same with me. I don't know where she went off to now. I mean,
But did anyone in chat have any more questions about, or have any more questions about axolotls? Trying to think if there's anything. Their diet, like I said, consists mostly of protein. In nature, their favorite food is an earthworm. They will maul you for an earthworm, and they do have some teeth, albeit not sharp, but they got some teeth in there, and they will hold on. And they prefer to swallow their prey whole. So don't give them something that's too big for their mouth, because they can choke on it. And that's why also people don't like to do substrate with them, because the way that they eat, they kind of like suck in like a bass. So the whatever's in their path, they'll pull in with their food. So if it's anything like gravel or anything like that, they can become impacted with it. But earthworms is awesome.
Wants to know what different ways there are to keep the water cool.
Honey?
What we do is either you can do water changes for the cooler water. You can do frozen water bottles. You can do the fan over the top, added air stone for more agitation. Or you can go the expensive route and use a chiller.
But I will tell you guys, Danny and I have one that we keep upstairs on the kitchen counter year round. And he very rarely has it. I mean, we've never had an issue with him. So I think the worst, what's the highest he ever got was like 72.
I don't know. I wasn't temperature gauging him. I was just watching him for signs
all we
of
knew
stress.
is we were sweating and we were like, man, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
But I would recommend if you have a basement to keep them in a lower level. The lower levels of the home, especially basements, stay probably a good 8 to 10 degrees cooler than
And
the
on
rest
the
of the house.
floor. And
Yep.
directly on the
Yes.
floor.
Like if you have a cement floor, that'd be awesome. A nice cool basement floor.
Mhm. When is usually a good time to put together safely without eating each other?
When they're similar size. Once they're similar size, and a little over the nummy stage, so I would say about 3.5 inches is when you want to start trying to put them together. And it might not work out at first, so that's why you got to watch them very closely. And if they start nipping at each other, separate them. It means they're not ready to be together yet, and just try it. But sometimes an axolotl will just, you know, eat another axolotl, and not on purpose. It's not like they are purposefully cannibalistic. They have horrendous eyesight. So it's not that they're like, ooh, there's my sibling, nummy. They're like, oh, I think that's an earthworm when it's really my brother's arm, and I'm going to sit here and do the crocodile spin and tear it off and eat it. So that's what happens. So you want to try to prevent those types of injuries. And until they're over that stage where they're like going to snap at anything and you have an established feeding pattern with them, like feeding them in a certain spot. Like I hand feed mine in the corner, so they all swim to the front, up top, and I stick my hand in, and I either use my fingers, and if they miss the pellet, then I pick it up with a pipette and feed them again with it. But they're all trained to eat there, so they're going to snap in that area. But they're not going all over the tank snapping because I don't feed them anywhere else. So if they run into something else somewhere else in the tank, they're not going to bite at it. So I find that to be a little easier to train them not to eat each other. But I've kept them apart since I think day 7. They were together for the first week, and then I separated them. Not because they were showing signs of they were going to eat each other, but because I couldn't stop thinking that they were. So I didn't want to wake up one morning and there only be one, like Highlander. I wanted them all to still be there.
Danny went through that. Terry ate all 20 of his brothers and sisters because Danny did the same thing that you guys did. She got some eggs from a friend of ours and she raised 21 of them. And he's the only one left because he munched on all of his brothers.
Terry's got 27 personalities, I guess.
I felt so bad. I went with 20 containers to put them all in different containers and everything. And I got all the containers. I went downstairs. I got them all set up. I went up to the container that Terry was in and all the brothers and sisters, and there was only Terry.
Oh, no. That's what I was afraid. I was afraid Duke was going to do that because he was the biggest one and he grew the fastest. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want him to hoover them up because it seemed like they would double in size every day in the beginning. Whatever food you put into them, they quantified it into the next upgrowth at their next day. Like they grow so fast when they're little, it's incredible. And they can reach sizes of up to 12 inches, but there's also been some recorded of up to 18 inches and kept in captivity. So they do need a sizable tank. Some people say 15 gallons, but I highly, highly recommend a 20-gallon long for one and a 40 breeder if you're going to try a pair together. And a lid. They like to jump. They're like rope fish. People say that they only stay in water, but they will flop out onto land just to flop back into water just to be like, I can do this. Look at what I can do. And then they go right back in. So you want a tight fitting lid so they don't like dive out on you.
Either tight fitting lid or lots of plants at the top.
Which they will climb on top of the plants. So you got to be careful. Either way.
Thank you, Dr. Anthony, for the $20 super chat. But we're trying to raise you money. There's 20 you just put in our pocket. Come on, man. Well, we appreciate that, brother.
Craig said, I like their pipe cleaner things on their head.
Yeah, they're cool.
Those are their gills. Those are their gills, and those little thingies attached to their gills are their frills. And that is a true sign that of a healthy axolotl is when their gills are relaxed and their frills are straight. But if their gills are curled and their frills are curly, that means you probably have a pneumonia spike or your water agitation might be too high and you might want to check either or.
What's up, Mr. Alex and Mr. Melvin? We got Jess came in from Maids, Tails, Furs, and Fins, and I'll be on her show in the morning. And then we got PA Fish Preacher, Mr. Kevin. What's up, man?
Hello, guys.
The link for Team Fish Fam YouTube team is here.
So besides me obsessing about the axolotls lately, Brian has been digging the pond, and I think he's pretty much done digging the first one, and he'll be starting on the second
Too
one
fun.
soon.
So what are you putting into the pond?
The bottom one's going to be native fish, and then the
bass,
second one he's
bluegill.
working on, I think, is going to be koi, and I don't know what the third one's going to be. Who knows yet? But there's also going to be a fourth one, but I don't know if that's going to tie into the other three.
Third one will be an indoor pond, and it's going to be filled with star sapphires.
But it's looking really nice. It's looking really nice. I'm trying to get him to put up some videos about it.
Tell him
But he's too busy digging it.
that extra whole house thing he's got, he could turn that into one massive African cichlid pond.
Oh, there's already some plans happening with that building. But it is gonna have ponds and door maybe around it for breeding.
Nice.
Welcome, cold-blooded monsters. Monstars. That's funny.
And then
Ian said that he had a mini heart attack when he found out juvenile bichers have external gills like an axolotl. They are too cute. They are really cute. I had like a mini heart attack when I found out axolotls have teeth. Like, I know that sometimes when they bite my finger when I'm feeding them, like sometimes it hurts, but not really because they're soft. But then there's this one in particular that when he bites, it hurts. So maybe his teeth are a little bit bigger than everybody else's, but they're not big teeth. But still, I did not expect them to have teeth.
oh, but biting, that's cute. My house, we got like 4 or 5 in here to take chunks out of you when they bite you. And they sit and chew on it while you're looking up.
Your axolotls?
No, who's took the biggest chunk? Probably the Fahaka Puffer's taking the biggest chunk out of me. He took a big old chunk out of my elbow one time.
Because these guys seem like they're going to be mean, but they're not. They're scared. They're mostly scared.
Yeah,
and always hungry. There's some LRB action for you there.
Nice. Tropical granules.
Of course.
I got bit by the wolffish again the other day. He got me pretty good this time. Well, now he's figured out when he hears humans back there, he knows that we're about to get it on with the feeding. So he waits there, and the minute he sees a hand, he jumps up. That's his new game. Secret History Living in Your Cram gave us a $10 super chat. Thanks for being part of the team, Team Fish Fam and Dr. Anthony's nonprofit. We are trying to raise funds for Funds with Lucas and PNW Fish Tube channels. Fish Fam is powerful when we team up together. Yes, we are.
That's true.
And Danielle, I always have you, because I don't have my glasses. I can't see. My eyes are blurry, so if you can see them, read them.
Okay.
Or are you blurry too?
I'm not blurry.
Did I accidentally bring the hot mess over here with me?
There we go. Okay, so now I'll be able to see him a little better. I brought him up on the other screen too.
Nice.
So one of them I can see like what the actual stickers are and stuff. So that's good.
So Roxanne, other than axolotls, what else could those people, if they went to your Get Gills, could they find?
I think currently on our Get Gills we have the last set of the Sheldon and Egbert corridors available. We do have some more raising up from another batch, but that's the last batch of the Sheldon and Egbert grouping. We have some standard chocolate bristlenose. We have some long fin chocolate bristlenose. Let's see, marble smoked. What are those angelfish called? Smoky leopard. There we go. Smoky leopard angelfish. Star sapphires as well. And they're sizing up soon, so we're not going to have them on the get-gills for too much longer because when they get over a certain size, we're not comfortable shipping them. So if y'all want to get in on those, I recommend you hit them up soon because we're not going to be shipping them for too much longer. But we do have some of them coming up in the auction that Skipper's doing. So if you guys are looking for some stars, definitely check out Skipper's auction. We'll be having an 8-pack up for bid.
Got a question from Alex. Says, Roxanne, have you seen the videos of owners forcing their axolotls to morph into salamander form? I was just curious of that. Is it unhealthy for them?
Yes, I've seen those videos too, and no, it is highly detrimental to your axolotl to force them to morph because axolotls only morph to survive. And when they do so, they only live roughly up to a year after they morph, but they need to be in such horrible conditions that their filaments wear away, their gills wear away, their fingertips will wear away, and then their body basically forces them to be able to live on land. But they can't survive because they never met that next genetic leap in their evolution. So that's why they don't survive. Now, there are a few documented cases of axolotls that have morphed naturally, that were kept in pristine conditions, and they still decided to morph. I think they happened on when they were below 5 months old. But what it was is that they were hybridized with the Andersoni, which did complete that next genetic leap in the evolutionary chain, and they can morph into the next land creature. And those went on to live a few years, but it is not a good thing to get your axolotl to morph. And actually, that's animal cruelty. And in most places, you'll get a ticket or go to jail for it. Because people think it's cool. They're like, "Oh, this isn't supposed to happen. Well, I can make it happen. Look what I have." And that's just torture to the animal. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's going on, Chewy? I also seen Catfish Nation came in and Cichlids 23. Haven't seen you in a while, pal. Good to see you. Yeah,
so Craig Doniger says that he's loving the African cichlid tank behind you.
You like Peplin's war tank? Thank you.
The war tank.
We have some Borlei in there. We also have the dragon blood peacocks and the white lip Madafas.
White lip buffalo heads.
I gotta look at him because they're his fish, and I usually confuse those with the rice fish. I mix their names.
I didn't even catch him the first time around.
Yeah, there's a couple white lips in there, and the reason they're in there is because they kept getting one aside and killing one. So we just he put them in here to hopefully they'll enact the aggression out on just the group and not in one individual. You know, put all the meanies together and let them just fight it out. And so far, so good. They're doing good so far.
Oh, Cichlids 23. Doing great. Loving my discus, but I did set up another tank today. That's what happens. Tanks always get set up. So what other breeding projects you got coming down the pipeline?
Oh, well, in between pond digging days and house renovation, Peplin's been working on the rack so I can get my rasboras, all my different rasbora species that I have in one place so I can start working with those breeding. My white wizard snails had some babies, but for some reason those babies passed away, like they died off. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what that is because white wizard snails are very sensitive and they're gill feeders and all they're easily scared. So say the cat goes up there and like bumps the tank and one of them decides that it didn't like that noise, it can like shell up for like 3 days. And if it decides that it's really startled, it will never come out again. So like they can like be stressed to death. Um, so I have them away to where they can't really be bothered. So it's not like there was anything in there for the babies to not survive. I don't know what happened with the babies. The adults are fine. Um, but it's annoying because I want them to take off. Um, they're a slow spawner. They give live birth, which I think is totally awesome. They're not very common. They're so darn cute. And I'm trying to figure out why those babies didn't make it. So that's one project I'm working on. But the Rasboras is another, and there's always CPDs, and we have tons of Corys everywhere, and Plecos galore, and of course we've always have guppies everywhere. Um, and hopefully we can get the little stock pond set up soon so I can get my blackmores outside. But I'd like to get a spawn out of them guys this year.
That'd be so cool.
So Scotty comes in saying, "Whoa, Kenny has 2 ladies tonight. I'm sorry I'm late. I was in a board meeting."
Hi, Scotty.
That's funny. Luckily, I'm not a jealous gal.
There is no way I could handle you two. No way.
I'm the easiest, most smooth going person you have ever met, Ken.
I don't share.
There would have been a. Let me see if I can suck start this.
Hello, Regina Phalanges.
What's going on, Regina?
Hello, Regina.
Liquid Zoo. He has a way with the ladies.
So Craig Doniger says, yesterday I've been keeping fish forever and never bred apples. Is he talking about apple snails?
Yes, I'm sure that's what he's talking about.
Apple snails? Which version of apple snails, though? The mystery snails, or because there's several types of apple snails?
I like the mystery snails. I just get scared of them, and apparently I'm not a good snail keeper, so their shells kind of didn't do so well. So
I never comment on snail stuff because
if you want some mystery snails, if you'd like a snail-only tank, I highly recommend a remineralizer, like what was it? Actually, Ian recommended a really good one. I think it was called the Salty Shrimp GHKH Booster. That'll be really good remineralizer for them. Typically, if you have like shell erosion or anything like that, it's typically if you accidentally have them in a CO2 tank, or if the water's too acidic, or if there's not enough calcium available in the water column, it'll pick away at it.
I think mine was mostly because my water's not really that acidic, but I think it was not enough calcium and thing. Even though I was dropping, the wonder shells and stuff in there, I just don't think it was enough.
Yeah. it's not just enough for the to be in the water column. It also needs to be a heavy part of their diet. So you need to feed them a lot of
which I didn't
calcium-rich
do.
foods. Yeah. So like a
Yeah,
lot of
that was totally a
zucchini
biggie.
and snail-specific foods, dark leafy greens, spinach, things like that.
Mhm.
Spirulina they love. But they
Just
also need
what?
their sources of protein too for their operculum. So like I give mine bloodworms. They absolutely love frozen bloodworms. They're also the frozen brine shrimp they like as well. But there's also protein in vegetables, so don't let it fool you. But they do need a little bit of animal protein as well for their operculums.
Well, I just thought they eat poo.
But they just ate what? What, Kenny? Who?
Poo! Poop, poop! I thought that's all they
No,
poop, poop.
no, I mean, they make a lot of poo, and their poo is good for fish fry, but they do not eat poo. They do not, they are not the best algae eaters. If they're eating algae, it's because you're not feeding them enough. They will clean up what your fish don't eat, but that doesn't mean you don't need to feed them as well. They also need a balanced diet. They are a beloved pet in your tank, just like your fish, and you should care for them as such.
He just
They
went
don't
by for
just
a
live in your
split
tank.
second. What the heck was that,
Yeah.
Pep? Dang, I've seen Bigfoot more often. Thank you for the super
You
chat
see that?
there.
Says, what the heck was that, Pep? Dang, I've seen Bigfoot more often. 3G said that.
Oh, but Greg,
He just had to do a peek in when I said what I said because he can't hear what you guys are saying, so he's just guessing.
So Craig
That's the kitty
Doniger
cat.
says, I have GHKH or GH plus or Sulawesi minerals. Foxy, what would you use?
I'm not sure what the Sulawesi minerals are. If there's any salt in there, no salt.
That might.
GHPH. Gracie, that's the one that's always on the keyboard. GHKH plus or in booster would be good. I'm not sure if the Sulawesi has any salt in it, so I wouldn't recommend it because I haven't used it, so I don't know.
Well, if it's the Sulawesi shrimp, I know they live in almost liquid rocks, so it's probably.
Yeah, but I know also like they all have a varying degree of salt content, and I don't know what that one is, so I don't want to say yes without researching it more because it's not one I've personally used.
So Verily says my mystery snails loves those ONIP tabs.
Yes, they love fish food, although it's not the best source of all their Vita vitamins, as Lucy would say. But it's okay for them to have it as a sometimes treat, it's like their candy, but not too often because it's not good for them. You want your animals to be the healthiest as possible.
Scotty says, I thought Danny was a lot of giggles.
And then I thought Foxy was a lot of giggles on the Hot Mess Express. Both together?
We've had Danny on the Hot Mess Express before, but it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
We should revisit that again.
We've been talking about her coming on our channel for quite some time. It's just finally all of our calendars aligned.
Stars aligned.
Yeah.
I know, and basically our daily phone conversation, we finally agreed to do it this week.
I cornered her into it.
Hello, Kim and Mom Shidana.
Now, I will tell you, I tried for the dual package, but Brian's still not having it.
He is sitting right next to me, though.
I like that he's so supportive.
Oh my God! We get no Brian, we get the cat.
Exactly, you get Brian holding the cat. Yes, I agree.
God.
Even though he's not a fan of showing his gorgeous face. I truly appreciate him being as supportive as he is, helping me do all the things I can't, considering I'm not the best walker. So he helps me get a lot of crap done, especially for all the fishy things. So yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait till Ken can get that apparatus off his arm.
I'm so ready for it to be off.
Matt says, "Let's see the package, Brian."
Get me up after the stream.
Wow. Today we actually, Danny comes walking by me. She goes, "What is that stench?" I couldn't smell it. She goes, "Oh my God!" She smelled this apparatus. She's like, "Okay, take that off. It's getting washed."
When's the last time you washed it?
Never.
It's got this microfiber stuff. It's supposed to be makes it so you can sweat, but don't have to worry about the sweat.
Do you have a rash on your skin?
Yeah,
Are you okay under there?
Not really. It's been itching. It feels great.
Well, I hope you don't get a fungal infection.
I know, right? I walked by. He walked into the kitchen. I'm like, what was that smell? You know?
It's pretty bad if he walks by and you get a waft that just cracks you in the face.
I couldn't figure out.
Maybe he had monkeypox.
The first reaction for a man when she says that is I go. That's the first thing I'm doing. I don't know.
Well, I can honestly say.
What age is it when the walking parts begin?
The what? The what?
I said, well, what age do the walking parts begin? Because that could be a bone.
So when you have the walking farts and you're in a office environment, you have to do a speed walk, and it's called the run by farting. And you just kind of disperse it throughout the entire building, and you walk super fast as you do the walking fart.
What I always love, and I know you've all had it. You're at the store and somebody kind of mistreats you at the store. Oh, I so wait for them because I just kind of build it up and I just kind of crop dust them as I walk by and I just grin. It's only people that mistreat me in the store. That's all I'm saying. I'm kind of like guppies. I save that kind of in a storage area just for people like that.
That's the literal.
So, yes, exactly. But also, if you're in an office environment or something and you don't like your boss, you go right next to their cubicle and then you let the big, silent but deadly fart out. And then you get something like a file folder and fan it into their cubicle. And then
Danny,
you hear this, Danny's employer?
No, Danny is not subtle about it when she wants to do something.
That's how you lost the
Here's Danny when she's trying to be, well, at least when it comes to me, when she's trying to be subtle, when she's trying to get me, oh, I don't know what's going on. That's what I get, you know.
That's all bold.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm looking at it because we fall for a time. Did you just fart? No.
Kenny, you might need to censor that part. Brian said he saw bulls.
No. I know you're right. I've got those tucked into my belt loop.
Breathe, woman.
I'm gonna say it real quick, okay? Men over 50 have saggage problems too, all right?
Make it to first thing in the morning, Kenny.
I mean, Roxanne, this is the ritual when you go to a strange place where you're gonna pee.
Throw your phone from your shoulder.
Well, you don't want them hanging in strange water. I mean,
oh man, I needed this tonight.
I told her I was going to make sure I had her giggling uncontrollable before she left the screen.
Oh my goodness.
I had that procedure done on Wednesday. Oof. I missed my live stream Thursday. So thank you guys for like hanging out with Miss Dee Dee and Miss Mary while she could hang in there. And you, Kenny, thank you for filling in for me. Greatly
That was a
appreciate it.
blast. I had a blast.
And I'm just getting back to my voice and giggling, so that's why I've been like coughing a little bit or breathing
And I
a little
love
heavy. But
For those
I'm
that didn't
pretty much
know,
back to square.
Friday night, Miss Shanna brought Ladies' Night back.
I saw that. It was so awesome, and I loved that little story time thing at the end. That was the most cutest little thing ever. I hope she does that every time. Every time. I loved it.
She's gonna once a month. It's just once a month, so that way she can
Mhm.
prepare and make a great stream once a month. She says.
I'm not gonna make that joke. But it's awesome. It's awesome that it lines up like that. I love it. I love it.
Shanna, tell us in the chat. Is that when you know it's time to stream? Boy, I was so proud. We started this stream. It sounded very, very, very educational, and then it just went kaboom in about 3 minutes.
Yeah, we learned enough, so I figured we'd move on to sillies.
Oh my goodness! Here's the reason. There's only 4 minutes left already.
Wow. We
Yeah,
giggled
where
for
did that
56
time go?
minutes already.
Oh my goodness.
One of my mods would be gracious enough to drop Griff's link. We'll head over to Griff's after here.
And Monster Fish Gal just dropped Dr. Anthony's Research Center for the fundraiser link.
Excuse you.
Dr. Anthony said, this is really degenerated fast.
And that happens quite frequently in our streams.
Oh, you wait till the Friday night and Saturday night when you're here, Dr. Anthony, and the streams that happen from here, they're a mess, man. They'll be like...
So, Kenny and Danny, do your cichlids also spit at you when you're sitting by them just because, they might not like you or they want your attention? Or
they're telling you they want fed.
They already got fed 3 times this stream.
They be hungry.
The Oscars actually throw huge amounts of water out of the tank at us.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
I got to say it, guys, with that shirt he's got on, remembering Aquarium Cop. Love you, brother.
Our stream, the Hot Mess Express, is dedicated to him every Thursday. He's our little angel in the corner. He's been there every stream.
Awesome.
He's the reason the Hot Mess Express exists. He talked us into it. It's his fault. We miss you so much, Cop.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Well, that's good that he did.
Well, guys, I'm going to say thanks to all my moderators. You guys have been doing a great job. Thanks to all my super chatters and my members. You guys are awesome. All the lurkers and replay crew. And, of course, this little young lady down here for taking the time out of her day to hang out with us.
Thank you, Roxy.
Well, thank you for having me. It was so awesome, and I hope I'm allowed back again because I'd love to come back. And I gotta have you two guys, both of you, on at the same time on the Hot Mess Express.
Yes,
that would be. Don't rub my eyebrow off. I still need that for like 2 more minutes. Fish family.
There you go. Good job, Brian. You feel very accomplished now.
Yes, he does.
I feel very special.
Very. We appreciate you
it's
coming
been
by,
awesome.
Lisa.
Thank you so much for having me up here with you guys this evening. I will be back this week this Thursday on the Hot Mess Express with the lovely Miss Dee Dee and Miss Mary. And we're just going to have a hangout stream. So come hang out. I will be there. We'll all be there. The co-host trifecta will be there. And it's just going to be a fantastic time. So, choo-choo.
And catch the Booty Boys on Friday. Every Friday at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. And this week, guys, it will be back to Danikin's channel. So we will be seeing you Friday night. Anyway, guys, hey, we're going to go, because he showed up at the last minute. Tonight, we'll go over to Griffin's hashtag Brian.
Hashtag Brian.
There you go. All right, guys, as always, love your fish. It's going to be Kenny E. and the lovely Danny E. and my bestie down below, Miss Foxie Roxley, saying goodbye for another week. See you next week, and have a good one.
You're not doing an empty job.
He didn't end the stream. He accidentally knocked me out of it.
Perfect ending. Perfect golf clap. Round of applause. Perfect.
You got it,
Oh
dude.
my God.
Have a good one, guys. Love your fish.
Bye.
Just don't use the computer.